What's up guys, Sick Designs here, and today I'm going to teach you how to do this. Alright, so as you can see there, that is a pretty neat effect. It's actually quite simple to do. First thing you want to do, go into render settings, like always, and change this to 1280 by 720. Uh, Obviously this is HD, so it's going to look a lot better. Then you're going to go down to frame range and select all frames. Also keep in mind, if you're rendering this in HD, it's going to take longer, especially uh, depending on your computer. That plays a big part too. Then just go down to save and change this to AVI movie because AVI format looks pretty good. Then go to anti-aliasing, change it to best, and then max level 8x8. Unless you've got a really fast computer, you can choose to do 16x16, which looks even better. But 8x8 looks plenty good. And so I'm just going to leave mine at 8x8. Now that we've got a render setting set up, we can go ahead and go ahead and start the project. So the first thing we're going to do is go up to floor, create a new floor. I've actually got a wood texture I'm going to just drag onto here because I like the wood texture look as my floor. And yeah, I basically just found a Google image and saved it and then just dragged it on there. And I'm just going to add a reflection to it, so whatever I place above the floor, there'll be a reflection of that object. Now if you do just want to add a color or something like that, you can double click down in this box and you can play around with these settings up here, you know, the reflection and the color and that kind of thing. And whenever you get finished, you just take this and drag it onto the actual object or just drag it in up here. So yep, that's that. Okay, so once you've got your floor done and you got it textured, we can right click on it up here and go to simulation tags and click on rigid body. Keep in mind I'm on Cinema 4D R13.016, which is the latest version as of today. Anyways, basically by making this a rigid body, the floor becomes like a solid and objects will interact with it, bounce off of it, break when it hits it instead of just sinking through the floor or going right through it. Just makes it interact with other objects. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a cube just by going up to the cube icon, going to cube. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cube and I'm going to go down to my Y position and select 100 or type in 100. And what this does is set it completely level on the floor so that it's not kind of going through the floor or sitting above it. If that makes any sense. It's sitting on the floor. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to create and I'm going to go down or up to shader and then go to new key. And then I'm going to click on this and go to diffuse A, click on color, and I'm actually going to color the cube whatever color I choose, which I'm going to go with the purple. I'm just going to drag that onto the cube once I've got my material created, preview the image, and so you can see what we've got so far. It's that right there. Alright, so now we just need some lighting into the scene and a couple other things and we'll be about done. So I'm going to go up here to the light bulb, go to light, I'm going to pull this out a little bit and bring this up. Apologize for that, my computer's freezing up a little bit. And we're just going to bring this up, and then I always like to add shadows. This is optional, you don't have to do this, but if you would like to, just select the light, go down to shadow, and then you'll see this little tab here, and it should automatically be set to none. Just change this to shadow maps soft, and then if we preview this, we've got a nice shadow going on in the background. And say you want a cross shadow, you just add another light in here, bring it over, and we'll preview that, and it kind of lightens up the shadow a little bit. So you can see what we've got so far. Got that nice shadow going on there. And I believe if I just move this behind, yeah, there we go. That looks quite nice. Okay, so we've got that. Next thing we're going to do is select the cube just by clicking on it. You're going to need a plugin named Throwsy. I talked about this in the last video. I'm not going to cover how to install this. It is a plugin for Cinema 4D. You can find plenty of tutorials out there that explain how to do this. It's very simple to install it. Excuse me. And so yeah, once you've got it installed, you're going to go to plugins, go to Throwsy, open it up. This is what you're going to see. First thing you're going to do is go to dynamic. You're going to change the mode to on collision, and then you're going to choose the amount of pieces you want to break this up into. I'm going to do 100 because I mean that's quite a bit, but it looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to hit break now, and basically what's going to happen is the plugin's automatically going to break this cube up into 100 pieces, which is what you're seeing right now. Alright, so now this cube is actually divided up into 100 pieces, as you can see here. Exactly 100. And now when an object hits this, it's ready to be broken. And, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. If we render it, it still looks like a normal cube, but it's actually broken up into 100 pieces. And so basically, how do we get this to break? Well, that's what I'm going to show you now. Basically, we're going to go up to the cube icon again, and you can select any object you want. It doesn't have to be a sphere, be anything, but I'm just going to use a sphere for this. And you're going to have to bring it up. And I really apologize for my computer freezing up. It's because I'm recording and using this program and uploading quite a large video file at the same time, so it's running quite slow. But you can size this down by clicking the scaling option up here. Make this any size you want. And then if we press F5 on the keyboard, we can get a top view. And notice I've got this directly centered already. But that's how you better judge where you want to place this, is by using the top view instead of perspective. And also you've got front and right views. And then just press F1 if you want to get back to your perspective view. And so if you've already scaled this down, you're going to want to go back up here to this move tool, select this again so you can move it up and down. I'm just going to bring this straight up, and then I'm going to add a texture to this. I personally like the new key type texture because it adds a nice reflection to it and everything. So I'm going to go to create, shader, go down to new key again, and I'm going to make the ball, I'll just leave it white, and I'll make the illumination about 80%, so it's a little bit brighter, and I'll just drag that on here. So now if we render that, render preview, we got our ball right there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we can go ahead and right click on the sphere, go to simulation tags, and make it a rigid body, so that way it's a solid and will actually fall. And now we're ready to see the collision happen, so here we go. Oh, and there you go. As you can see there, the cube just completely explodes when the sphere collides with it. So we'll see that again. If we go to render preview, this is what it's going to look like whenever it's completed. Obviously this is going to be an animation. So now another cool thing I would like to talk about is say right here I got a frame 27. If I want to like have this start in like full speed, like regular 100%, and then slow it down like during the animation, have it in slow-mo, you go to the frame that you wanna start the slow motion or whatever that may be. So say right here, and I'm gonna go up to edit, and I'm gonna go down to project settings, and then I'm gonna go to dynamics, and right here you'll see that we have time scale. And basically what you want to do is control click on the time scale, move ahead about 4 frames, 3 or 4 frames, and then bring this down to the speed you want this to be at. So say I want to bring this down to like 25% speed, which is actually quite slow. Bring it down to 25%, control click again, and basically what this does is slows it down to that speed. So now if I play this animation, notice how it slows it way down to 25% there. Starts off at 100 and then slows way down. And okay, and now say you want to get it back to regular speed. Actually, I'm going to make my frames so I have a lot more frames to work with, I'm just going to go 200 for example, and then I'm going to take this bar and slide it all the way over. So now that we've got 200 frames to work with, and we can make a longer animation. So we started off at 100, and then as soon as it collides, slows down to 25%. And say we want to speed it back up along some point, say frame 51. We're just gonna control click again. We're gonna go ahead about 3 or 4 frames, and then we're gonna go back to 100%. Control click, and there you go. It'll play it out at 100% once again. So here we go. Slow motion and then 100%. So that's just kind of a neat little touch you can do. Alright, so that's it guys. That's pretty much what you saw in the demonstration. And I hope you found this video helpful and hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be making a lot of these videos. And yeah, that's it guys. Appreciate you guys watching this, and yeah, thanks for watching.